And we are back. Our second guest today is Max Smith, who is the president of the student organization FMLA, which stands for the Feminist Majority Leadership Alliance, right?
Correct.
Hi, Max.
Yes.
Nice to have you on the show.
Nice to be here.
Tell me about FMLA.
Well, one, I'm glad that you got the name right, because a lot of people think it's Female Majority Leadership Alliance, and that's a completely different meaning.
Yeah.
But yeah, FMLA, mostly what we do is try to eliminate sexism or educate on various different issues related to gender issues, race, and like sexuality, everything like that. And when I say all forms of sexism, I say that to include like gender sexism, cis sexism, and heterosexism to try and cover a broad area. And we do a lot of different organizations on campus. Like we typically have a really small group, but we do about 20 events a semester.
Wow.
Yeah.
That means you are very dedicated.
Yes. Yeah, we've been doing this even when we only had like 3 members.
Wow.
So I'm glad we have more than that now.
How long have you guys been on campus?
I'm not entirely sure, but about 10-ish years. It's been on for a while. A lot of like waves of like, yeah, we have a lot of members. Now we have 3. Now we're back. Like that kind of thing.
Yes.
Because student organizations.
That is the life of a student organization.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we do a lot of events like I Heart Female Orgasm and monthly condom handouts and at different education sessions like sex education. Wow, I can't talk.
It's the cameras for people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the 1 Billion Rising event that's coming up tomorrow.
Right. We're going to talk about, let's talk about 1 Billion Rising since it is coming up tomorrow. I'm not sure that this is going to air before that happens. So if we miss it, then at least we can be prepared for next year. So tell me about the 1 Billion Rising event.
1 Billion Rising is a worldwide event that started last year, and it's based on the statistic that 1 in 3 women will be beaten or raped in her lifetime, which is 1 billion people. So it's 1 billion people rising to end gender-based violence, and to try and raise funds for organizations who are doing that, but do it in a uplifting way, because these subjects are so heavy and dark that, you know, sometimes you need something fun to go along with it. And so what we're doing is the 1 Billion Rising dance at the Willow Tree tomorrow, where there will be like spoken.
The Willow Tree? Where's the Willow Tree?
The Willow Tree Coffee House and Music Room is where the Galaxy Lounge used to be.
Oh.
Yeah, and it just started, I think, like a month or 2 ago.
I was going to say, like, I didn't realize the Galaxy Lounge had gone away.
Yeah, I didn't realize till we were planning this event, and they were like, yeah, we're doing it at the Willow Tree.
Like, okay.
Yeah, because we did it at the Galaxy Lounge last year, but it's really cute. Like, one room's a little coffee house with, like, food and everything. The other room's, like, the main music room of the Galaxy Lounge.
Oh.
Yeah, it's super cute.
I've never been in there, so that's a really good thing to know.
Well, you could come tomorrow.
I should come tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So it's a dance.
Yeah, there will be like spoken word, and then we have this really awesome DJ who's going to be playing, and we'll have an all-male bake sale where all the treats are exclusively made by men and sold for $1. So that's going to be pretty cool.
I like that.
Yeah, and it's a minimum $5 donation for the cover charge, and it goes to local Johnson City nonprofits, Safe Passage, and the Amazing Woman Foundation.
I don't know about the Amazing Woman Foundation. Safe Passage I've heard of, but what is the Amazing Woman Foundation?
Yeah, the Amazing Woman Foundation, it provides financial assistance to women who are in need. Like if you're working like a crisis hotline or something like that, like a domestic violence or sexual assault agency, and you're talking to someone who, let's say they just had to move out of their house because they were living with a domestic partner, places like the Amazing Woman Foundation can help them get on their feet and start working towards a better life.
So I go to the Galaxy Lounge, I buy baked goods made by men, I dance to awesomeness from a DJ, I make a $5 donation, and I help women all over the Tri-Cities.
Yes.
Basically.
Yep.
Why would I not do this?
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, okay.
Yeah, and to help promote it, we will have condoms all day tomorrow, 11 to 4.
Let's talk about these condoms. I feel like I follow you guys on Twitter.
Nice. Thank you.
I enjoy, well, you guys post a lot of really interesting stuff, articles about women and sexuality and violence and whatever else. But I feel like you're giving away condoms all the time.
Yeah.
Where do all these condoms come
There's this national organization called the Great American Condom Campaign, and they're a partner with Trojan. So every semester we get 500 Trojan Ecstasy condoms from them.
These are not cheap, weird condoms. These are
Yeah,
like legit condoms.
these are the nice stuff. Yeah, and so
Plastic condoms.
occasionally we won't have the super nice ones. People come up, they'll be really angry. They're like, "Where are the ecstasies?"
Wow.
Yeah, people don't now. It's not even like a worry of like, can I get condoms? Like, can I get the
Can
nice
I get the
one?
good condoms?
Yeah.
Wow. That's good though. That means
Yeah.
you're, like using the condoms and whatever else, which that just makes me so happy.
Yeah, and we also hand out information about how to apply a condom because most of the error with condoms breaking is because people have never been taught even how to use them. Like
Right.
trying to get people to use them in one step and then trying to get them to learn how to use them is an even further step.
Right.
Yeah, so that's super fun. And occasionally if we run out of the Trojan condoms, then since we are a chapter of Voices for Planned Parenthood, they will give us some really pretty proper tire condoms. Like the little cases the condoms come in are like floral or leopard print or super cute.
See, that's so you can carry them everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Discreetly.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you're going to need one.
Exactly, and a large part of making, and this sounds a little silly, but with the condom packaging by Proper Attire, it's so hard to get women to take condoms. It's so incredibly hard. There's this documentary, Let's Talk About Sex, where they like interview people about carrying condoms, and it's like, oh, what if a guy's carrying a condom? It's like, that's good, you know, he's prepared. What about if a girl's carrying a condom? Wow, that's sleazy. I don't think that's okay. And because of those those terrible ideas, women are afraid to carry condoms because of how they'll be seen, and that makes it harder for them to protect themselves.
That's terrible.
Yeah, so the idea is like, well, maybe if we make them pretty, then it's less of a stigmatized, oh, I've got this scary condom thing, but like, look at how cute this
It's
is.
super cute. You can't tell it the difference from my like tampon.
Yeah, exactly.
container or whatever else.
Yeah, it literally looks like it could be like a makeup container or something.
So I mean, but I imagine this is part of what your organization is seeking to do is like bring awareness to the fact that like a woman can't carry a condom sometimes. She's uncomfortable carrying a condom because social structures and socialization have said if a woman is willing to protect herself as she engages in sexual contact with somebody else, she's a slut. Let's just use the word, right? She's characterized as a slut where men don't have that same stigma attached to their own sexuality. So I imagine that you guys do other events on campus. Love Your Body, I Heart Female Orgasm, you guys are associated with those events as well, right?
Yes.
So what I love, I think, about the I Heart Female Orgasm thing, did that happen already this year?
It happened last fall.
Last fall, so it's a fall event.
Yeah, we typically do it in the fall because that way we can get in like the freshman students like as soon as possible when they get to college.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happens at the I Heart Female Orgasm event?
Well, I like how they do the event because it's I Heart Female Orgasms. People are like, yeah, fun, sex, what up? And it's actually like really feminist and really cool and everything.
Right.
Because they talk about the importance of like, because, you know, there is a lot of sex education, how to be safe. There's not as much sex education on how to enjoy sex because people are starting to learn that they have the right to say no and not have sex when they want, but it's just as important to be like, yeah, you can have sex when you want and you need to learn how to enjoy it, how to talk to your partner about these issues because if you can't talk to your partners about sex, then maybe you shouldn't be having it.
Right, and so I mean the guest before you, we were talking to Kate from Oasis, and one of the, you know, their objective is to make sure that we understand healthy relationship and sex dynamics and whatnot, and you know, part of being able to control your sexual experience is to be able to say, I want this, I don't want this, I'm happy when we're getting it done in this manner, but being able to talk about any of that can be very challenging for people, especially in this part of the country. I feel like there's a little, people are even less open about sex and issues related to sexuality than they are in other parts of the country.
Yeah, it's like something you don't talk about, like it's taboo, or it's like, oh wow, don't talk about that. Are you one of those? That's slutty. Like, so women are even more afraid to talk about it, and it's like taking control of your life and your body with things like I Heart Female Orgasm and handing out condoms because it's a way of a form of bodily autonomy, like because men can be taught on how to like when you do the whole sex education thing, men are taught about sex and being careful and everything. But in my sex education, we were literally just taught about like puberty and our period and everything like that. And the guys were like, oh, we learned that we can impregnate people. And I'm like, well, that's cool, but...
Sure, so I didn't learn anything about becoming impregnated.
Yeah, because it's not just like the man's responsibility. And also all of these sex education things, they completely only talk about straight couples.
Yes.
And that's another thing I love about I Heart Female Orgasm is they do try and make it LGBTQ friendly.
Right.
And I really appreciate that. And we try to make our sex ed LGBTQ friendly as well. Like there are these other condoms called the female condom, which can be placed inside.
Yes.
But I don't like that name at all, so we try to change the language to do internal condom because they can be used for anal sex.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Because they're also internal condoms. I refuse now to call them a female condom. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
But they're like awkward. Condoms are awkward anyway, but like internal condoms they're bigger and whatever else, and they're just, if you've never seen one, you should. They're super interesting. But this awkward, sort of clumsy, bigger, looby thing is attached to women, whereas opposed to these like nice, neat little tidy, kind of like regular condoms are like efficient, right?
Yeah, and like the companies that make internal condoms, they're kind of actually trying to work on that. Like they have a new internal condom where it's like not looby and you can like insert it kind of like a Nuva ring. Like it's the same length as a regular condom, but you like pinch it and put it in. But because it's of a different, what is that called? Material. Then external condoms, it like adheres to whatever wall it's in and it warms to the body temperature and you can put it in like a few hours before sex. So even if your partner's like, oh, condom's gross, you're like, surprise, you're using one anyway.
Ta-da! Oh my God, genius. It's like an improvement on the diaphragm, which I don't think anyone of this generation has ever used or heard of for that matter.
Yeah, we have these sheets where it's like effectiveness of birth control methods and there'll be things like the diaphragm or the sponge and people are like, what is that? What does that mean?
It's good you don't know what these are. You're not using them because they don't actually work, like not to an efficacious degree anyways.
Yeah.
That's exciting. So I love that you're doing that. Really quickly, can you tell us, just the viewing audience, LGBTQ, what all those letters mean?
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer. And with queer, it's kind of an umbrella term because the Q can also mean questioning, and queer can be for people who don't really have a set term for what their identity is like. Well, like I'm emotionally into women, but I'm more physically into men, and sometimes I just don't feel like being into men, period. And it's kind of like, because sexuality is so fluid, it covers a much wider range of emotions and desire. And then there's a much longer acronym, which I prefer because it includes more, but if you start going LGBTQIA, P, blah, blah, people, they are automatically like, wow, that's too much.
Too much.
Yeah, because like there are identities like asexuality that are just as important, but people automatically like tune off if you start talking too much complicated acronyms and everything like that.
That's true, which defeats the purpose of any sort of group trying to do advocacy work.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't deal with your acronym. I'm not interested.
Yeah, it alienates people because they're like, I don't know what that means.
Which is totally antithetical to the point of
complicated.
especially LGBTQ organizations. They're designed to be inclusive. When you start alienating advocates.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's not just about people who are willing to join as members, but the people who are willing to advocate for people as well. So we don't want to alienate those folks.
Yeah.
So if a person wanted to join your organization, how might they do that?
Well, we meet every Wednesday at 4:30 in Roger Stout 125, like literally on the first floor Roger Stout. It's right there. Because I found people, if it's on the second or third floor of a building, it makes
too much work.
Yeah, they're less likely to go.
I can't get up there.
And we also have a Facebook page, which is like /ETSU FMLA, and a Twitter, which is /ETSU FMLA, which I know that's a lot of letters, but after a while, it just becomes one giant word you say 50 times a day.
It's true. Yep.
Yeah. So you can follow those, keep up to date.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you so much for being on. We have had Oasis and FMLA. We'll see you next time on Spotlight ETSU.